While quietly cleaning a fish on her kitchen counter, she suddenly lost her grip on her knife, and it flew off the counter. She couldn't believe what was happening. Her eyes couldn't believe what she had seen. It must have been a prank. She looked at the shiny object in shock. However, when she touched it, her screams echoed throughout the house as it moved. Her husband ran to her and asked, "What's going on?" Joel and his wife, named Minnie, live in close contact with nature. In addition to planting fruits and vegetables in their garden, they fish in nearby lakes and seas to keep delicious food on the table. Everything they consume has been planted and harvested on their land because they want to teach their children basic hunting and gathering skills. For them, the grow what you eat lifestyle is not just a job. On the contrary, they have turned it into a relaxing hobby that allows them to spend quality time with the family, especially the children. That day, the couple caught a fish that unexpectedly changed everything. They caught a mudfish, also known as a bowfin or trash fish, which fishermen generally don't want. However, if only you knew how to cook it the right way, it could be a completely tasty fish. Fortunately, the couple knows how and what to do. So, every time they catch a bowfin, they definitely have a delicious dinner. "Looks like there will be fish cakes and baked potatoes today," Joel said, as he stumbled upon the hard-earned perch. When they returned home, they took the fish out of the freezer and prepared the other two for dinner. Minnie put the fish in the sink and started cleaning it. She had done this cleaning practice hundreds of times before, but never had such a thing happen to her. As with the entire fish cleaning process, the preparation is the part Minnie prefers the least. However, she always said and believed that this was better than buying whole, processed, imported meats. She starts by removing the head, pulls out the entrails, and cleans the entire inside before removing the scales. But just before cutting into the belly of the fish with the knife, she noticed something strange. Minnie noticed a hard lump right in the center of its body. The lump seemed strange to her, as it shouldn't be there. She examined the fish carefully and was sure it was not the fish's eggs. But if they were not eggs, what could they be? It is well known that fish sometimes eat everything, even strange things. But in most cases, they eat food. So, carefully, she opened the fish and took out what was inside. Unexpectedly, she found something strange and gasped when she saw that it glowed. Minnie couldn't believe what she had found and kept looking at her hands, amazed. It was a gold necklace with an anchor-shaped pendant at the end. It was amazing. She wondered how this little fish had eaten such a necklace. Then again, Minnie felt something strange about the fish. Not only had the necklace surprised her, but the fish had so much more to show. She pulled out everything inside, traced her hands around the spot where the lump was. However, just before she dug with her fingers, something terrifying happened. Minnie touched the part of the fish with the lump and was surprised when it moved. Minnie jumped back and screamed aloud in horror. She felt compelled to move away from the kitchen counter. The house was filled with her echoing screams. Joel immediately went to her side with panic clearly visible on his face. Her eyes widened and she witnessed this inexplicable event. What was in front of her eyes made her throb. She felt like she was out of breath. She had never encountered this incredible event before and had not been surprised by this for some time. "What's going on?" Joel asked her in panic as he looked at the fish. Minnie calmed down and slowly reached out her hand towards the fish. She pointed her finger at the fish and said, "How is this possible?" The piece of meat curled up as if it were still alive, trying to breathe. The fish was decapitated, the head was in the sink, and the rest of the body was on the cutting board. Joel, the husband, poked the fish, and it began to move more intensely. How was this possible? The woman wondered if the lump could have caused the fish to move. Before she touched the fish one more time, she wanted to know what was really going on. She ran to the phone and searched the internet for a possible explanation. In the meantime, the husband filmed the fish. He breathed a sigh of relief when he discovered that the fish tended to move even after death. Salt, a preservative and a very common ingredient, may have caused this certain movement. The movement of fish, even after death, is due to the fact that some cells may still have the ability to respond to stimuli. As in this case, it is very common that sodium, known as salt, causes the movement. The scientific ideas were much more complicated, because they talk about how sodium and potassium react to neurons, causing an electrical signal to the host. The reaction causes the muscles to contract for a short period of time. Finally, the girl chuckled with relief as Joel teased the fish and played with it. However, only the movement of the fish was resolved, while another question went unanswered. What could be inside the fish? Joel asked his wife about the necklace as she approached him. He was shocked when his wife Minnie told him what really happened earlier. Of course, no doubt, she felt the same way too. He stepped back and let his wife continue to talk about what had happened with a touch of awe. "Do you think there are other jewels in there?" she asked. "I don't know, but I think we'll find out," he replied. Joel peeked over his wife's shoulder to take a look as she continued to put out all the entrails of the fish. Minnie began to mutter, "But what?" as she began to pull a ball out of the interior. The fish's stomach revealed a series of small glowing balls. "Is that a bead?" Minnie asked, when they picked up the small, shiny balls to examine them. They wondered what these balls could be. Joel squinted as he rolled the small, shiny balls between his finger and thumb. Then he was surprised again when he picked up the balls in the light. Minnie's husband couldn't believe what he was seeing. Joel was struck by a terrifying realization and said that these were real pearls. Minnie's astonishment was very evident as her jaw suddenly dropped. "Wow, are you sure?" she asked in amazement. Joel then grabbed the pearls and rubbed them with his teeth. His eyes widened and he exclaimed, "These are definitely real." Meanwhile, Minnie's face showed confusion. She wondered how Joel could understand that these pearls were real. To understand the difference between fake and real pearls, the best way is to rub the pearl against your teeth. You will know if it is a real pearl when you rub it against your teeth, and it will seem gritty, like rubbing your teeth against sandpaper. If, on the other hand, the pearl is smooth against your teeth, then it is a fake pearl. If you're still not sure, it's probably fake, since a real pearl would certainly hurt your teeth. But how could they be in the fish's stomach? It is known that fish like this bowfin are not that picky compared to other fish. In fact, they eat whatever moves. After consuming oysters and mussels, this bowfin must have liked everything that glitters. The couple did not know that the pearl found inside the fish cost a fortune. Each of these pearls could sell for as much as $300 to $1,500. So, it turned out to be a pleasant surprise for the couple. Joel, Minnie's husband, filmed what they discovered and uploaded it to social media to share what he learned from the incident. Within a short time, the comments multiplied. As expected, some users were surprised and amazed, while others commented that they simulated the whole scene. There were 2 users who commented with interesting thoughts. Movement, even after death, does not occur only in fish. Frogs and squids can do the same. Of course, it is not always possible that they ate hidden treasures. However, it is an amazing thing to find and witness. Nature is truly amazing. But what did they do with their discovery? The couple, of course, not only had to deal with comments of shock and awe, but were also criticized. At first, there were hints of disapproval from others for not finding out who the real owner of the golden necklace was. However, when asking friends if the necklace was familiar to them, it was impossible to find the real owner. There were many possibilities, one of which is that it might have fallen in the vicinity of a body of water. Another question also arose. They could not understand how long the necklace had been underwater, and were not sure how long it had remained in its stomach. In fact, the necklace may have been there for years or decades. You might say, this incredible story is over. However, after weeks, something in Minnie's freezer that had been caught kept moving. Could they find anything more interesting? Minnie poked around in her freezer like she was on a treasure hunt and felt silly about it. There was no doubt that her recent discovery was indeed surprising. So, why not check out the other fish as well? She thawed the fish by vacuum, cutting the package and putting it in a bowl. then waited for it to thaw for quite some time. Joel, confused, stopped and raised an eyebrow. "You really don't think there are more?" The woman simply pushed her husband away and brought her hands close to the fish full of excitement. This time, the fish did not move after cutting off the head and cutting the belly. The woman checked inside the fish in the hope that she could feel something other than the soggy guts. This time, however, the fish had no surprises. It was a very normal fish, like all the others they had caught before. However, they did not give up hope because there were still 4 left to open and cut. Little did they know that there was the possibility of one more mystery waiting for them. They found nothing from the 3rd and 4th fish, but the 5th surprised them. That's when she hit something hard with her knife. Once again, they were astonished at what the fish had for them in their stomachs. Their eyes opened once again when Minnie pulled out a piece of gold, and this time it was a ring. It looked like a gold ring often meant for a man. Now, what could have happened to this ring? Joel exclaimed, "It's not possible." Minnie was stunned by the discovery and went to lean against the kitchen counter. The new discovery was not only as polished as the pearls from before, but it contained a surprising clue. Again, there was no way of knowing who owned this treasure. Minnie cleaned the ring and read 2 engraved names and a date on it. These names might be what they needed. The details of the ring may not be much, but somehow they could be useful. So, they looked up wedding names and dates that had probably been posted online. They both pulled out their computers and did the research. There was no way one of them could sit still and sit back. They had to find a way to return the ring to its rightful owner. They both thought it was worth a try. Minnie muttered, "Jimmy, maybe James?" And her hands began to move faster. It was like finding something in the middle of billions of billions of billions of hairs. Only after drinking the 6th cup of coffee did they find something relevant. Joel exclaimed, "James and Madeline Jeffords!" Their shouts of excitement almost made Minnie fall out of her chair. These kids were going to be the owners of the lost wedding ring. Thanks to the internet, the couple managed to find them. It was a simple photo stream, with grandchildren and silly comments. However, the loss of the wedding ring was not mentioned. They probably forgot about it, since it had happened so long ago. Minnie was excited as she wrote her message to Madeline. She checked her phone from time to time. They both waited and hoped that the account they had sent the message to was still in use. They waited for hours, and the moon was already high in the sky. It was definitely time for bed. The kids were already sleeping so deeply. Meanwhile, Joel was snoring profoundly on his Barcalounger couch. Minnie, however, stayed awake, checking her phone from time to time. Finally, her phone rang, and she knew this might be a sign that she would get the answer. Minnie yelled out loud when someone responded to her message saying, "Yes, we lost a wedding ring, but it happened years ago. Who are you?" Her shouting woke up Joel. The couple decided to abide by a simple rule before making the next move. First, the couple showed up. Then they said they were fishing and had found the ring in the stomach of one of the fish. Their rule was to make sure that the person in question really owned the ring, and that they had no intention of giving it to them if it wasn't for the real owner. But was the person on the other end of the phone able to accurately describe the ring? The person was texting again, and what she responded brought tears to Minnie. The person described the ring accurately. They responded that they had used Jimmy instead of James. This meant they had found the real owner. Little did Minnie know, however, that the best part was yet to come. Minnie's family set out on a journey north. The owners of the ring were waiting for them. As they were about to enter the driveway with the car, Minnie again had tears in her eyes. There, waiting for them, was an elderly couple holding hands in excitement. What had happened was truly unexpected and unbelievable. So much so as to connect 2 families from different miles and years. The elderly couple said they were walking along a pier long before. Not quite sure, Madeline said her small bag of jewelry had fallen out of her bag. It happened when she wanted to take out some jewelry to clean it. She hypothesized that it had been caught in the waves. The elderly couple showed some photographs that portrayed them with wedding rings. To their surprise, Minnie and Joel saw in the picture the gold necklace with an anchor-shaped pendant. Both couples could not contain their emotions. It was pure destiny. However, the elderly couple planned to do something special for the couple who found their jewelry. To show their gratitude, the elderly couple said, "We want you to keep the necklace." Although the family returned home, the couple could not hide their smiles. However, this is not the only case when a fish has eaten a wedding ring or any kind of jewelry. Losing an object can be very irritating. How much more so if the object we have lost has sentimental value? That would be irreplaceable. Losing objects does not only happen to elderly couples, but also to us. Fortunately, we can thank fate for bringing the items back to them.